Hello world! Hi, my name is Tammy B. And well, welcome to my YouTube channel. One of my best friends told me that it would be a good idea for me to start a YouTube channel, and one of my other best friends told me that it would be a good idea to start a YouTube channel. And so here I am starting a YouTube channel, and this would be my first video. So basically this video is just to kind of be an introduction to the YouTube channel and what it is that I'm going to talk about. It's basically going to be more or less like a vlog, I suppose. But one of the reasons that my friends thought it was a good idea for me to start a YouTube channel was because of the vast amount of interests that I have. I have so many interests. But to sum that all up in one word, it would be fandoms. So I guess I'm a complete fangirl, a lot of things. So basically it's just a giant fangirling platform, I guess, or fan individual, if you will. I'm a fan of a lot of things, and there's definitely a lot of things that I really like talking about and that I really like talking to other people about. And I think that some of these topics and some of these ideas are really a great way to connect with other people, to start conversation and to start communities, and to create friendships. And one of the reasons I say that is because I am a lover of music. I absolutely love music. I really thoroughly enjoy rock music, punk music, so punk rock music, emo, metal, metalcore, alternate rock, classic rock. I grew up listening to rock and roll. And my dad is actually a musician, and he would play, he plays a lot of instruments, and he used to sing. So every weekend was music, and my mom really enjoyed rock and roll, and I've made some incredible friends and really good and great connections with people through music and through engaging with the musical community and fans of the musical community. One of the examples is making friends and feeling a sense of support when you're feeling down, or things like when Chester Bennington had passed away. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park had passed away. The kind of support and the kind of cohesion that people had as fans was just really incredible. And it was really wonderful to see a group of people, or groups of people all across the world, kind of come together and support each other on this loss. And there's some real incredible magic associated with that cohesion, with that sense of community and that sense of belonging. My cat is about to ruin our so this is Bella Marie, and she will be joining us every now and then. Things like that, things like music. That doesn't mean to say that I don't love music. I only listen to one type of genre of music. Not at all. I listen to many different types, and I really thoroughly enjoy and I love music. Another thing that I love and I enjoy is Marvel, as you can see. So that'll also probably most likely be a lot of what I talk about, a lot of what we talk about, and I think it would be a great way to connect with people who are into comic books, people who are very passionate about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the MCU, people that are passionate about DC characters and the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, the comic book heroes and things like that. So so music, movies. I love movies. I love superheroes. I grew up with superheroes. With regards to movies, I'm at the movies every single week, and so I basically give my review to my friends, and that's again one of the reasons why they said, why don't you start a podcast or a YouTube channel? So there's a lot of things that I really love. There's a lot of things that I really love talking about, and I think that we're definitely in the day and age where social media has just become, a center of our lives. And there's a lot of things that go on social media, but I also think that it's a great way to connect with other people. It's a great way to create those connections, to create friendships, to talk about things, whether it's good things or bad things. For example, Avengers Endgame, 11 years, 22 movies, and the end game. And so there were a lot of emotions to sort of process through or at least a process. And some fans did it together, some fans did it alone. And for some fans, it was really difficult. For other fans, it was just a movie. I also have a Facebook page that's about Marvel, Marvel characters, Marvel heroes, Sebastian Stan. It was a long time ago that I started the page. I think there's over 3,000 followers. It's a really great page. It's a real fun community of people. And so yeah, I mean, I love reading. I really, really enjoy reading. I really enjoy reading fantasy books. I enjoy series. Game of Thrones, oh my goodness. Supernatural, I enjoy traveling. I enjoy photography, practicing photography. I really enjoy food, tasting new foods. But most of the stuff that I really enjoy talking about are movies and superheroes. So, that's going to be the majority of what it is that we talk about, or what it is I do talk about. And I mean, feel free to comment or reach out. I do have Instagram, I have Twitter, all those wonderful things. And I just hope that it's a way to share the things that I'm thinking about on a day-to-day basis or weekly, and fill people in, all the fangirls and the fanboys out there. I mean, the people that are fans, people that are interested in it, people that are, want to chat about it, things like that. Just a real nice community. But yeah, it's mostly going to be about superheroes. So the videos to follow are really going to cover more about Avengers Endgame and some other stuff that's been happening. The ban has been lifted, so the spoiler ban's been lifted, so I can spoil things. I apologize if you haven't seen it, but you should go out and see it. I think another thing I just wanted to say is one of the reasons that this channel is going to be really cool about superheroes and stuff is because I grew up with superheroes. I grew up loving superheroes. I remember being pretty young, maybe about 3 or 4, and my mom telling me about Christopher Reeves and that he was Superman. And at the time when I was growing up, he was already in a wheelchair, and he had sustained a spinal cord injury. And so as a kid, I didn't really understand that, because I was going, but this is Superman. And I can remember distinctly thinking to myself as a child, but how could he be Superman? Superman can fly. And is he being Clark Kent? What's going on? Every weekend, without fail, my dad would take me to a Blockbuster or Mr. Video, where we just get the VHS cassettes, like videos, before DVDs had come out. And without fail, every weekend, I was glued to the TV screen. I was watching movies. And like I said, every weekend we had the records on. We were listening to music. We were enjoying ourselves outside, or my dad was playing the guitar and we were singing and things like that. It was just a real fun childhood. And there's many stories, because every movie that I pretty much chose was superheroes. But in particular, I grew up with the Power Rangers. So grew up with many Marvel and DC characters, along with many other characters in comic books as well. Comic books weren't as big in South Africa as they are in the United States, and I'm originally from South Africa. I live in the United States now because I study here, and I moved because I wanted to pursue my doctorate. And that will be a video for another time. But basically, I grew up with lots and lots of superheroes, and I really, really love superheroes, but more so watching the series, the animated series, the movies, going to the movies and watching the VHS cassettes and things like that, versus reading all the comic books. I did read a couple of comic books. They were all a couple of characters that were pretty famous in terms of the comics, particularly Batman, particularly Superman. Shazam was a powerful character and was depicted a lot, but the comic books never necessarily sold as much, and there's a number of historical reasons for that. Spider-Man sold incredibly well, you know. So growing up, I did enjoy the animated series and the movies more so than I did pure comic books. But as I got older, I got more into comic books, more into the movies, more into the animated series because, like I said, in South Africa, it wasn't as big. There were things like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. I mean, for goodness sake, that was amazing. But yes, the Invincible Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Avengers, but more so the Justice League, Batman. I mean, Biker Mice from Mars. There were so many Transformers. The X-Men. The X-Men were my absolute favorite. They were my absolute favorite. And then the Power Rangers. And so I have a real funny or cute or embarrassing story, I suppose, with regards to the Power Rangers. But to basically cut it short and just give you that, you know, basic introduction, superheroes have defined a lot of my life, and they've been characters, people, ideas that I've looked up to and that I have really kind of embodied and tried to be my own hero. And what's interesting and what's beautiful about heroes is that Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, heroes are always flawed, and they always go on a journey where they have to triumph over an obstacle as well as parts of themselves. And so that's really unique and that's really beautiful, especially in the day and age that we're in, especially with all these Marvel and DC movies coming out. It's important because it's very, very human, and those are important parts of being human. And a really nice example of that is Thor in the current Endgame. So, like I said, there's lots and lots of things on my mind that I'd love to talk about. And some of them, I guess, are philosophical. Some of them, I guess, I'm just blabbing. But, like I said, it's just discussing things. It's being able to have a platform to talk about it. And, yeah, I decided, I guess, to become my own hero, and there was many ways that I had done that. Number one, I studied martial arts, Goju-kai Karate, the one I achieved my black belt. I pursued my doctorate. I have a couple of degrees. I have a master's degree, and I'm pursuing my doctorate in clinical neuropsychology, which is the reason that I moved from South Africa to the United States. And the school that I chose to go to is a university that places great emphasis on social justice as well as socially responsible practice. And that's not to mean that it's a super hippie belief or a hippie school, which has been, you know, sometimes people think that it's just overly liberal and you know, make peace not war and make love not war and all of those things. No, it's not that. It's merely the idea that we should respect human life and that we should respect each other and that we should respect all living things and that we have a responsibility to each other on this earth because there's so much bad going on around us that we need to be the light among the darkness. And, you know, I think that that's really wonderful. I think it's really philosophical, but it's so true. And some people have ridiculed me for it, thinking in a very positive light or that I live in a utopia. But I really do truly believe that we should strive for the good and we should strive to be better than we were yesterday, and that really we should be our own heroes. And that's not to say that I'm a hero and that I'm telling people to be heroes or superheroes. No, not at all. But it's merely taking a stand for yourself and being your own knight in shining armor, or, you know, being your own hero. Because we have to put us first and we have to love ourselves first. And we have to be superhuman when it comes to us and what we need. And we go through life being superhuman because there's so many demands that are placed on our shoulders. And there's so many things going on in the world. So, I chose to study clinical psychology, I chose to study cognitive neuroscience, and I chose to pursue my doctorate in clinical neuropsychology for these reasons. Not just to be my own hero, but to be socially responsible so that I can pay it forward, so that I can use the power that I have to do better things within research, within working with patients, within working with people, within helping out new and upcoming professionals, whatever the case might be. So that sounds like a big mouthful and like a lot of crap, but and that's not to be overly righteous or entitled or anything. It's just merely how I see it, and I think that we all have a responsibility to each other, and that the more good we do and the more we love ourselves, the more we fight for ourselves, the more grounded we are, the more we can spread love, and the more we can take care of others. Because if we as a tool, so if a doctor has a scalpel and we are that scalpel as a tool, if we are not sharp enough, we cannot perform surgery. The scalpel will not be able, it'll be blunt. And so if we don't care for ourselves and sharpen ourselves, if you will, how can we be useful? How can we be useful to ourselves? How can we be useful to others? And I think that goes beyond the realm of health sciences or within the health services. I think that's just in general is being good people, and I think that it's a really awesome time to be alive and to see the hype around superheroes, because that really is what it is that they're trying to do. It's for the greater good. And all I'm saying is that these ideas and these characters have been a really, really big part of my life since I was a child up until this point. And I can remember thinking that if Christopher Reeves could be in a wheelchair but still be Superman, it didn't matter what I was or who I was. And one of the reasons I say that is because I was never the biggest or the strongest or the tallest or the prettiest or the smartest ever. I was always the smallest, the shortest, the weakest, the sickest. And I mean, I have asthma, chronic asthma. I have numerous allergies upon other diagnoses. And it really, really has been difficult for me as a child and even as an adult. So when you're a child and you kind of think about those things, it's like, I don't want to be weak, and I don't want to be the smallest, and I don't want to be the sickest, and I don't want to be a bubble child. And over the years, people have said, you're such a bubble child, you should live in a bubble. And sometimes I think that it's true. But the point is that these characters, these ideas, these heroes gave me something to look up to. Like, if they could do that, I could do it. And it gave me an incredible amount of strength. It propelled me in a direction to be better than myself, to be stronger, to want to be stronger. And those are things that have really been a foundation for me. And being able to study martial arts, being able to do karate, which is Gojukai Karate Do, which if you have questions about it, we'll talk about it. But it's a style of ancient Okinawan karate. It stems from that Karate Kid. It's a family to Goju-ryu karate. And really that was such a grounding and a foundation. And it really did help me feel incredibly strong. And that kind of discipline and that kind of tenacity that I had as a student of martial arts really helped me to be propelled forward into the future that I'm sitting at now, and be more outspoken and be tenacious and be aggressive in order to do and to achieve the things that I wanted to. Many years ago, I wouldn't have said that I was as tenacious. I wouldn't have said that I was as perseverant, or perseverant, however it is that you choose to say it. I wouldn't have persevered, and I wouldn't have been as stubborn, even though I'm quite a stubborn person at times. But I think the better word is diligent, and being able to put aside those physical problems and put aside the emotional stuff that comes with it and really push forward and achieve a number of goals, I really owe to the idea of being a hero, not to the world, but to myself. And in being able to try and propel myself forward, to be there for me, I've really had awesome revelation in order to want to be a better practitioner of clinical neuropsychology, to better the neuroscience that we understand, to further understand the neuroscience that we have, and to further be able to diagnose people, patients, and treat them responsibly without putting them on an increased amount of medication. And so that is my spiel. It really is. For this first, I guess, the first episode or the first video, that's who I am, and really, it's been a really, really incredible journey thus far, and the journey's still ahead because, yeah, there's lots and lots and lots to talk about. There's lots and lots and lots to do, and I'm still achieving my doctorate. I'm still getting there, which I have many stories upon this journey, and it's been really exciting thus far. I've had some really cool experiences in the United States. It's very different to South Africa, and different experiences across the United States. I've had incredible opportunities, which I'll talk about. But for now, I just wanted to say hi, and this is me, and I love superheroes. I love music, I love superheroes, I love books, I love fantasy. You know, I just, Lord of the Rings, oh my goodness, I even have Lord of the Rings tattoos. So there's tons and tons of things to geek out over, to nerd out over, and then I hope to talk a little bit about psychology and about mental health at some stage. You know, just not to get too serious about it, but just talk about it, because I think it's an important aspect of everyone's life, and that we should really practice good mental health strategies and be healthy mentally. So with that said, if you did watch, thank you for watching, and I will be posting soon. Next up is Avengers Endgame dialogue, and if you watched the Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home trailer that dropped today on Monday. So I hope you have a great day, and chat to you guys soon. Good night, world!